Beep beep. What is up, guys? My name is Samworld. About 2 months ago, one of you guys messaged me about making a tech house vocal tutorial on how to make vocal chops, vocal effects, and whatnot. And I promised to make it for you, so here it is. I'm sorry I'm a little late though. Now, over the weekend, I took time to actually listen to some tech house playlists from all styles to kind of come up with these techniques that people seem to be doing. And while to some people it might seem like common sense to just go like, I know how that's done, I know other people that are starting out or intermediates might have questions on how to achieve it. So in today's video, we're going to be going over the most of the vocal effects I heard in tracks, like vocal atmospheres, vocal chops, how to use vocals to transition, and vice versa. Okay, now I did make a video before on how to sample vocals. If you're looking for more of that video on how to like get like a 90s hip-hop track and put it on top of your vocal, warp it and all that, there is another video I've made, so you can definitely check the channel for that. But today we're going to be focusing mainly on that. So I hope you're ready with your YouTube to mp3.com to rip off vocals from YouTube to get this started, guys. As always, if you want to support my channel, make sure to head over to evilsounds.com. That is the best way to support my work. I do have a couple of tech house sound banks for you guys to utilize, so make sure to check those out. Deceiver, Dirty Chicken, and also I think I have a new one coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that, guys. But let's get straight into this tutorial. Alright, guys, and welcome inside of Ableton. Now, the question that I got obviously was how to make tech house vocals, or how do these guys do it, how do they utilize. Now, the first thing is that a lot of them are sampling vocals from the 90s, those soulful vocals. So you're gonna have to go on YouTube and, you know, hear some music, enjoy it, go work out, listen to some, and in your head just keep in mind, oh, this one was cool, I can use this from this track, whatnot. That's the more sampling process of it. You know, we're in a new age where we don't have to go to record stores and like salvage bins for this stuff. So YouTube is the new record store, let's put it that way. So you can definitely find some good ones there, and then from there find the key, find out the key it's in, so you know it's tonal or it works with your track. Now, for this example, I'm going to be utilizing this loop from the Mark Knight Splice Pack. I think it's the second one, just to make my life a little easier in presenting this technique to you, or these techniques. Okay, now the acapella itself is going to sound like this. And obviously it's a very soulful. Hey boy. We've got a hey boy. Miss the water, babe. Oh, babe. There's a yeah in there that you can utilize. Been acting for some time. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of stuff we can go for, and I don't know how the mic survived that she used, because literally she goes crazy. So you're definitely going to find a lot of stuff like that, which again, if that's what you're looking for, dope. But the way that you can use these is, first off, you can use them to transition, obviously. Yeah, that is a very simple one. Obviously, just put a bit of reverb. Reverb's going to make it just fill in a little better. Okay. The next thing is we can also create essentially vocal shots. So in a lot of tech house, you're going to hear or like ba, ba. There's a lot of different variations, but the idea is that you're going to grab the vocal and find spots that you can utilize. For instance, an easy one is that one, of course. So we can definitely cut that part out of the vocal and then use another one like and then, you know, just grab that little part. So that way we have a bit of and that's going to give you more of that if that's what you're going for. Of course, you're going to want a sidechain. You can also use gators like transgates to get more cooler effects, so we can definitely go with a side. You can definitely get more creative with it. You don't have to go specifically like that. You can go like so, hit duplicate here. Control, I believe shift or control shift click, you can audition other parts, so that way you can maybe go on the hunt for another good spot, like. And now we got more of that nice kind of. And then from there, you know, it's just essentially making vocal chops. So we go. And this one, you add variation, and there we go. I like that one there, and then we could just, you know, grab that. You know, my thing with this is it looks simple, right? But I want you guys to have fun doing it. The most important thing is having fun, grooving with that. Okay, so there's a lot of things we can do. Simple but effective. Let's say you don't like doing this and you want to do it a bit of a different way. The other thing you can do is you can grab a part of the song you really like. Let's say you think this is a cool part. We can always bring that down over here. Now you got two options from here. The first one is to bring in a simpler from Ableton. And the reason we go with it is because it has a super dope slice mode, which then we can drag that in. And now each key is going to be assigned to one there. Now, if you don't like the way that looks, you're going to Control J that again. And then you're just going to drop that in so that way it looks like nice and neat. Just play keys. And then from there, if you are more accustomed to that, this is not my favorite way to do it, but whatever, you know, some people like it, then you can just start to freestyle on top of it. So that's another way that you can kind of go by it. And the cool thing about this way is you can actually, you know, go in and start to shift this if you find like 3 that you like, but you want it to be longer and whatnot. The other method would be, if you're here, is to right click and then you're going to essentially slice to a new MIDI track, and then from there you're going to set, you want 116, you want based on transients. 116 tends to be good, but if you want them kind of long, 1/8 is going to be the best bet. We'll go with built-in and hit OK. Now we're going to get a sliced version at the bottom. From here, what you're going to do, and what I want you to do, is just make sure that this is folded so that way you have all of these now. And then from there, and then from there you can start to say, okay, I only like these ones here. So you're going to go maybe. And then just find, it's like a puzzle. You find something that you can use that. We can maybe. We can even just go simple. And of course, you don't need to have these, all of these. So let's assume you're like, okay, cool, Sam, we got the vocal chops out of the way. What are some other cool things we can do with vocals? So the other one is, let's say that you have, you know, we go back to what we had here, this long, oh yeah, like that we have. Next thing we can do is we can actually use Ableton's resampling feature by clicking here, going resample. And then what we're going to do is assign a reverb for this vocal. Okay, and the way we do that is with the Ableton reverb at the bottom left here. So what we can do first off is assign the reverb at 100%. Okay, now the way you design a reverb, I'll try and put it simple. First off, we have the size of the reverb. This is where the room it's going to be in. Do you want it in a small room, in a plate room, or a plate church hall? The higher the size, obviously, the bigger the room. So in layman's terms, if I had to tell you how it would sound like, a low size will give you a reverb that's more in your face. There's higher frequencies, and it sounds a little bit more like a plate, metallic. A higher size will give you more depth, so you're going to push more to the back. In essence, that means that the highs are getting dampened, and it sounds more pushed to the back. So depending on what kind of reverb you want to create for this, let's just go with maybe in the middle. From there, we can choose what frequencies you want to hit, so lows. Let's say we want... That's cool as well. From there, we can apply decay time, diffusion, and whatnot. But those are the more ones that you're going to find yourself using. From there, we're going to hit play. And the cool thing is Ableton has this feature which freezes at any exact moment. So let's say we go. And that's the part I like. There you go. It's going to keep going. She's singing. And we're just going to hit record. So we'll just... Okay, from there, let's shut her up, and then not to be mean. And now we can just put that here. So that way we have like a vocal atmosphere in the background of the track. And from there, it's all out. You can distort it, you can add chorus, you can sidechain it as well so that you get that nice vibe. Now, the key thing with this, guys, is that if you are going to be utilizing a vocal sample in your track, utilize the vocal sample to create this vocal atmosphere. Don't use another sample pack to create these, because at the end of the day, nothing's going to fit better in your track than that source. You know, all of this is, again, going to give atmosphere, fill up your track, and create a good vibe to it. Now, from here, we can do a lot more cool stuff now, because now I can create vocal swells with this. All we have to do is just do that. Now we have a vocal swell. We can create a vocal uplifter, which, again, these are just techniques I utilize to create samples for some of my sample packs at evilsounds.com. So for this, we're just going to click here. We're going to go into the clip transposition, and now we can bring that up. Now, when you're doing this, make sure you're in Complex Explorer. It's going to sound poo-poo. It's not going to sound that great. It's not smooth, so we're going to go performance all the way down. Again, you can create a lot of stuff without utilizing sample packs once you have a vocal, okay? The other thing that we can do, and this is a little bit more of the advanced one, but you do hear it in some songs, is first off, we need to find a good little spot, so we'll assume this is... Hey, boy. So let's assume that's something that we can utilize on the track. So now, the cool thing about Ableton is that we can warp, and I'm sure FL can do it as well. It's trying to keep up with us, but... it's a little off, so you can definitely cut it and get it in time. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go in, control it, and then control J that. I'm going to control J it in this little specific box. So that way everything's in time. I'm going to go into Complex Pro all the way performance. And then what I'm going to do is just time it. And I can do get it warped. So let's assume that's something we like. From there, one of the things I hear a lot in Tech House is this echo that we can utilize. So it's going to sound like this. Check it out. Okay, so you're going to get the idea here. Well, we want to just go into modulation or character, and apply a duck. You can also do this by making a return track and sending the vocal there. But in essence, here we want to create more to the vocal in the back, but still creating a bit more content for us so that when people listen to the track, they're like, oh, I never noticed that little vocal in the back. Okay, so what we're going to do here is set this up. So and we're just going to duck that delay so it doesn't sound cluttered. Now we can go with pink. And then we're just going to loop that and then just assign that delayed vocal like so. So we can go 1/4. Okay, from there, let's bring up the filter so we can actually just grab parts. We don't want to essentially grab the whole vocal and delay. We just want to grab a part of it. So maybe the high. Now, the other cool thing we can do, again, utilizing the resampling feature from Ableton, is just put this at 100%. Let's get rid of the duck for now, because we can also bring it back later, and maybe put the delay really high, the feedback, sorry, really high up, which just makes the delay repeat more often, and then just record that. Hey boy, hey boy, hey boy, hey boy, hey boy. Okay, so we have like that source material now. Let's get rid of this if we want, and now we got this to work with. Hey boy, and you could actually just go and put it. And that way you don't have to utilize that vocal no more now. And now, if you want, you can bring the other vocal back in, and you could sidechain it or do stuff like filter it in, mess with it a bit more, distort it more, whatever you want without affecting the original vocal. That's another cool way of doing that. And again, you can also use a return for this, but that's another thing I hear a lot as well. Another technique I see done a lot as well is just grabbing the vocal, like a shot vocal like so. We're going to use Reverb to push it to the back with a high size. Now you guys know. Now we're going to add a bit of auto pan. This is a very effect that a lot of people like to use. We can get it there. Let's say you think it's too sustained and you want it more punchier, then we can add another auto pan here. More to control volume, and then just go with a saw. Go, get the phase together. And then just set it to every time maybe 1/16. Maybe 1/8 would be a lot better. Okay, so another really cool thing to do. But in essence, guys, those are some of the cool things I've seen people utilize vocals in Tech House for to add more content. Essentially, if you just have a Tech House song with no vocals, you can do this without any issues. You can sample like little different shots from Soulful acapellas. But if you do have a vocal you've sampled and it's a full-out vocal with verses and chorus, do utilize that to do everything I did here, but to accentuate, again, your Tech House track rather than utilizing other sample packs because you're just too lazy to create your own swells, your own reverse vocals, and whatnot. Of course, there are other techniques to create the reverse vocals, but I just wanted to show new ones that you guys can also utilize just in case that's what you are looking for. Alright guys, so those are going to be most of the effects I heard in Tech House besides just putting obviously a vocal on top. That's singing. So I hope you find that useful. I hope that kind of demystifies it for some of you guys. Maybe you didn't use delay or you didn't think you could use it that way or sample it that way. Hopefully that, again, demystifies it a bit more so that you can have fun making the music that you want to make. As always, you want to support my channel, evilsounds.com, and you guys have an amazing day. Don't be afraid to leave me suggestions on tutorials that you guys would like to see because I'm always looking for those tutorial suggestions from you guys.